Good evening. Many thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ruth Aguele. Let's begin by informing you that the Republic of Mali has been suspended from all institutions of the economic community of West African states. Now, this is part of the resolutions adopted at the end of a one-day extraordinary session of the Authority of Heads of State Government of the sub-regional organization. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the decision followed the recent coup d'etat in the West African nation, which violated the transition chapter.
The ECOWAS Extraordinary Summit was convened by the chairman of the Authority of the Heads of State and Government and President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo. It was to review the prevailing socio-political crisis in Mali following the arrest, detention and subsequent resignation of the President and Prime Minister of the transition government, as well as determine the next line of action.
I'm thus using this opportunity to reiterate, on behalf of ECOWAS, our continued commitment to the peaceful transition in Mali with a basic goal of restoring democratic government and working for the stability of Mali and of our region. We must critically examine the dynamics of the current situation and make informed decisions.
At the end of a closed-door session that lasted about 4 hours, President Muhammadu Buhari and the other West African leaders condemned in strong terms the coup d'etat, describing it as a violation of the transition charter. Consequently, apart from suspending Mali from ECOWAS, the leaders also insist that a new inclusive government be formed to proceed with the transition program. A new civilian prime minister, they also said, be nominated immediately. The summit reaffirmed the need to respect the transition period of 18 months, stating that February 27th, already announced for presidential election, be absolutely maintained. The ECOWAS leaders reiterated the earlier decision that the head of the transition, the vice president and prime minister should not be candidates for the election. And apart from resolving to accompany the transition process in Mali, the leaders urged the international community to support the country towards the successful implementation of the transition program. They mandated the ECOWAS mediator and former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, to return to Mali within 1 week to engage stakeholders on the resolutions adopted. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari, before leaving Accra, granted audience to his Gambian counterpart, Adama Barrow. Details of their discussions were not made public. President Buhari has since returned to Abuja. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Nigerian police has restored calm at the Unity Fountain following an attempt by a group of protesters to cause a breakdown of law and order. Abdullahi Mohammed reports that this was contained in the press release by FCT Police Command, which debunks that Omoyele Sowore was shot.
On arrival at the Unity Fountain this afternoon, we saw that security agencies have already taken over the place. It is calm and the gate is locked. But before coming here, we've been able to speak to some people and they have told us what exactly played out here in the morning.
They here, I see police, they pass here. After I don't see tear gas that blow all up then.
The FCT command of the Nigerian police said the messages being recycled in the various social media platforms is far from the true position of what happened at the Unity Fountain.
Would like to debunk the viral message which purported that a female assistant commissioner of police shot one or more Yele Sowore at the Unity Fountain. Contrary to the speculation, police operatives professionally restored calm at the Unity Fountain.
The police has called on the FCT residents to go about their normal activities with assurances of its commitment to public safety. In Abuja, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
In Imo State, the State Police Command says the killers of Ahmed Gulak have been killed. Now, this is contained in a statement by the State Command Police Public Relations Officer Bala Elkana. The statement further indicates that following a distress call received by the command on the gruesome murder of Ahmed Gulak, police special forces made up of intelligence response team, police mobile force and tactical units from the command were deployed to the scene at Obiangu Junction, a local government area of Imo State, with clear instruction to identify and apprehend the perpetrators of the act with a view to bringing them to justice. Eyewitnesses' account, especially the account given by the driver of the vehicle that was conveying Ahmed Gulak to the airport before the attack, gave a vivid description of the assailants and the vehicles they used in carrying out the attack. The statement further indicates that on sighting the police, the hoodlums opened fire, but the police officers swiftly returned the fire. The 6 hoodlums who carried out the killings and 4 other members of their gang were fatally injured, while 3 out of the 4 vehicles used in attacking Gulak were recovered. Items recovered also include 3 AK-47 rifles, 1 pistol, 5 AK-47 magazines with 92 rounds of live ammunition and criminal charms. The assailants were identified as members of the proscribed IPOB and Eastern Security Network. According to the statement, the driver who drove late Ahmed Gulak and a co-victim who survived have all identified the dead body of the IPOB and ESN members positively as the attackers, and also identified the 3 vehicles recovered as those used by the attackers. 2 of the police armored personnel carriers were riddled with bullets, but they survived the gun battle. And more on security, the commendable success recorded in the ongoing counter-insurgency operation in the northeast is partly attributed to enhanced inter-agency cooperation among the services and other agencies in the front lines. The Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya, stated this in a message at the opening of an inter-agency seminar organized by the Army War College, Nigeria, here in Abuja, for participants of its Courses 5 2021. Let's hear more from Defense Correspondent Ismail Musa.
Nigeria is facing different emerging security threats, almost in all its geopolitical zones. The dynamic nature and intensity of these challenges, the military notes, deserves a proactive interagency operational framework for the actualization of a secured nation.
Collaborative initiatives present potent strategy for espousing measures towards mitigating the increasing vulnerabilities in the current operating security environment. Of government approach.
To the Commandant, Nigerian Army War College, the current security threat requires both kinetic and non-kinetic approach.
In dealing with the crisis arising from the actions of actors within Nigeria's geostrategic environment, employing all the elements of national power to counter them is essential. However, the projection of the elements of national power requires security agency, departments and agencies to cooperate and collaborate towards the attainment of national objectives.
Whichever security institution that does not recognize the vital role of the people in guaranteeing security is bound to fail. And once all of you can work together, the space in which peace and security must be maintained will simply be maintained.
61 participants from Nigeria's armed forces, security agencies and allied forces are participating in the Course 5 2021 of the Nigerian Army War College. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is taking on creative approaches to spur its men and officers to vibrantly carry out tasks and responsibilities in the fight against illicit drugs trafficking in the country. Now, the latest is a promotion of some of the best performing narcotic officers of various states command from the rank of superintendent to of narcotics and below. Abdul Malik Hassan reports.
The fight against substance abuse and illicit drugs has been hard-fought and continues to be. And for as long as it lingers, it stands as a setback to the attainment of some of Nigeria's national goals. But the past few months have been dramatic and unraveling for the country's anti-illicit drugs trafficking agency, with the seizure of over 90 billion naira worth of illicit substances and 2,175 arrests so far NDLEA is optimistic of winning the war. This event is a recognition of the gains made so far and acknowledgement of the contributions of men and officers of the success story.
The team have been up and doing both in terms of uncommon zeal to do the work, dedication, integrity.
Brigadier General Buba Marwa is the first to achieve such benchmark within the shortest period of time, and he still has a message to drop peddlers.
High-impact, far-reaching results that leave no room for any doubt about the efficacy of the strategies we have adopted. The results justify our efforts. The evidence is clear for everyone to see.
Well, you've heard it all from the NDLEA boss. Now, I won't say the battle line is drawn, but all I can see is that the fight is not over. And for those who are about to engage in illicit drug trafficking, it is time to have a rethink. In Abuja, Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA.
Definitely, Abdul Malik. Well, do you know tobacco craving for 6 to 8 weeks reduces appetite of smokers and draws them nearer to quitting? However, this is in line with this year's theme, which says, commit to quit. Aisha Uba Ali in this special report highlights the dangers of smoking as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to commemorate World No Tobacco Day.
Bill started smoking at the age of 7, and at 20 years he decided to quit smoking after seeing his father and elder brother die of tobacco-related disease. Michael, in the last 17 years, have remained an activist agitating for a free tobacco Nigeria.
See that he was regretting his actions. So, as my own part of the struggle, after I eventually gave up the habit, I decided that I can actually do something to help someone out there.
Every May 31st, countries commemorate World No Tobacco Day as a way of reminding people of the dangers of smoking tobacco. Consultant pulmonologist at the National Hospital, Dr. Kingsley Osaga says, aside affecting the aesthetic looks of one, such as coloration of some parts of the body, like dented teeth, tobacco smoking can predispose one to terminal illnesses such as cancer, increased lung and chest infection, with the trend of repackaging tobacco to be more attractive to what is known today as shisha. Experts say there is no any safe form of tobacco. Statistics show that there are 1.3 billion tobacco users globally.
The nicotine affects the blood vessels. So if somebody has even ulcer, for example, the rate of healing is even slower for smokers than non-smokers.
The likes of Michael advocate the need for support and partnership with non-governmental organizations in view of the 2015 law on tobacco, which he says has not really been enforced and implemented. Meanwhile, Michael has called a National Assembly to reconsider the move and debate to legalize marijuana in Nigeria. The message resonating on this day is still, smokers are liable to die young. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
That's one message we've been hearing for a very long time, but this year is focusing on commit to quit. We have a doctor in the house, Garba Abdurazak of Department of Internal Medicine with the Maitama District Hospital here in Abuja. Thank you very much, doctor, for joining us.
Thank you, Ruth.
All right, now
it's a pleasure to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
Doctor, it's a well-known fact that tobacco, we're conversant with the dangers of tobacco, but let's hear from the expert. How does it affect the human health?
Okay. Tobacco use is one of the greatest world epidemics so far. That contributes a large threat to health in the world. The WHO World Fact Sheet states that about 8 million people die annually from tobacco use. So tobacco use generally affects almost every system in the body. If we're being specific now, it contributes to a lot of cancers, starting from the mouth, down to the throat, to the lungs, to some parts of the GI system, even the bladder. It contributes to cancers. But the major issues with tobacco use is that the smoke itself It's so toxic. It contains about 4,000 chemicals that are known to be toxins to the heart, to the lungs. So generally, when you smoke, the smoke itself constitutes a lot of toxic chemicals that when they go into your body tend to increase your heart rate, increase your blood pressure, tend to over time clog your blood vessels, which are the pipes that take blood over from your heart to your brain and all over your body. So they can contribute to you having heart disease, strokes, and lung disease, and in the long run, a lot of other health-related issues.
You know, from what you're saying, it sounds scary.
It is.
If only people who smoke are aware of that. But what about secondary smokers now, people who are in the midst, you know, of people who smoke?
Yeah, so there's this general thinking that people who are around smokers are safe.
Yes, I have to believe too.
But I have to tell you that that is far from the truth. In fact, second-hand smoking is more dangerous in some cases than first-hand smoking, because you being around someone that smokes, especially in an enclosed environment, you tend to take, you as the person who is a second-hand smoker, you tend to take more of that smoke. The person smoking, is probably taking in the smoke and pushing it out, and you're just taking everything in. So the same risk factors or the same hazards that the first-hand smoker experiences or faces is the same thing with the second-hand smoker. So second-hand smoking is also as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than smoking itself.
Now, what are the challenges of quitting smoking? Because the addiction is so strong. If smokers are aware of the dangers related to smoking, why are they not quitting? Why is it so difficult?
Okay, so one of the major constituents of cigarettes or tobacco generally in the world is nicotine. And nicotine is a very addictive drug. So it tends to go to the brain and modify something. So you become addicted to it. So it's hard. A lot of smokers actually want to quit but don't know how to go about it. But medicine these days has evolved in a way that the professionals out there, such as psychiatrists, like there's behavioral adaptations that can be, or behavioral help that can be given to them by professionals, and there are also some other avenues that you can get your nicotine from, like nicotine patches, nicotine gums, and some other medications that I think for smokers who actually want to quit and have made up their mind that they want to quit, they should try and get access to the professionals who...
Do we have such here? Because it's estimated that 60% of people who want to quit, only 30% in the global population have access to quality tobacco cessation. Now, for us in Nigeria, do we have people, you know, a number of people that smokers can run to when they want to quit?
Of course we do.
Okay.
All over the country we do. We have departments in most of the teaching hospitals, departments of psychiatry. We have psychologists all over. So even here in the FCT, we have the General Hospital in Cairo, where there's a department of psychiatry, and you have a lot of people that are there to help and actually well versed in the field of addiction and how to help with addiction. So it's just about creating awareness for people to know that these avenues can be accessed. So we have those professionals.
Thank you very much, Dr. Garuba Abdulrazak.
Thank you very much for having me, Ruth. Thank you.
All right, while you ponder on committing to quit, talking about smokers out there, let's go on a break.
As Oni of Ife, as someone who cares about the well-being and safety of our people, it's time for each and every one of us to realize that COVID-19 is real and it has killed millions of people around the world. Scientists have developed this vaccine. The vaccine is safe for everyone, and it contains no microchip, nor can it alter our DNA. However, we must continue to stay safe and stay clean, wear face masks, clean our hands on a regular basis, and try as much as possible to avoid a very large crowd and gathering. For those who choose to be vaccinated, it will go a long way in protecting yourself and your loved ones from COVID-19.
Visit our website on www.nta.ng for more news and updates, or follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now. You can also like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/NTA Network News. Stay connected and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our news live streaming at www.nta.ng/live.
Center for Ethical Rebirth Among Nigerian Youth, Sereni, announces the 2021 National Youth Conference on Drug Abuse. Theme: recognizing the nexus between drug abuse and insecurity and the need for urgent collaboration between the youth and government in the task of securing the nation. Date: June 22, 2021. Venue: International Conference Center, Abuja. Time: 9 a.m. prompt. Conference Chairman: Retired Major General IBM Haruna. Speakers: Retired Brigadier General Mohammed Marwa. Executive Chairman NDLEA Mr. Olive Stupi, Country Representative, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, Mr. Abe Tako, India High Commissioner to Nigeria, and Professor Udenta Odenta, renowned author. Signed, Chuks Akamado, President, Serani, supported by Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Welcome back. Let's head to Lagos now. Our Yusuf Jibo will pick up from here.
Thank you, Ruth. With the aim to intentionally create awareness on the dangers of smoking, the World Health Organization, WHO, declared 31st of May as No Tobacco Day. Hingino John Adams highlights the necessity of the annual event and how the objective is being achieved.
Perhaps this young man considers smoking a form of relaxation after a long day. He obviously derives emotional pleasure from smoking tobacco. But the bad news is that each drug brings him closer to the deadly side effects. Just like this fellow, WHO estimates that about 39% of men and 9% of women consume tobacco globally. The trend accounts for 8 million deaths annually.
When you talk about heart attack, if I'm looking at somebody and then I need to ask a question relating to their risk, if they do not smoke, that drops their risk drastically. But when they smoke, the risk of developing heart attack is very high.
It can also cause lung cancer, can cause asthma, it can cause bronchitis.
A study by the World's Apex Health Organization also shows that smokers have about 50% higher risk of developing severe and chronic diseases as the Commit to Quit campaign coasts to its targeted finish in December 2021. It is expected that the campaign by WHO will extend to unreached territories where tobacco users are in urgent need of being sensitized. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
And now to transportation. Prelude to the inauguration of the 156-kilometer Lagos-Ibadan rail line, the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, is inspecting the project to ensure that finishing touches are done when necessary. The Minister, in company of the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, obviously satisfied, believes that the federal government is set to unlock the most significant gateway for trade and economic prosperity in Africa. Diana Ajale reports.
Despite awaiting commissioning, the double-track standard gauge rail line commenced passenger service in December last year, with the hope of increasing mobility options, preserve Nigeria roads from the impasse of trucks, while at the same time facilitate cargo evacuation directly from the Apapa ports. The timely delivery of the project is important to the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, especially as the date of inauguration draws nearer.
We made some advancements, financial advancements from our budget. When we get the loan, then we'll continue from Ibadan to Abuja. Because if you don't finish from Lagos to Kano, it makes no economic sense.
We've gathered experience on Abuja, Kaduna. We have gathered experience on Itakbewari. That experience is something we built on to be used on Ibadan, Lagos.
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, on his part, expressed satisfaction on these positive achievements of the federal government.
With this railroad completed, you're cutting down the
travel time between Lagos and Ibadan by hours. But more importantly, we are creating jobs along the line.
The Transportation Minister also said he is awaiting the approval of the National Assembly in order for work to commence on the Kano-Kaduna rail line. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Measures initiated by the Lagos State government to sustain growth trajectory in revenue generation is a strategy that should be adopted by the federal and state revenue generating agencies. Senior Program Manager of the Nigeria Governors Forum Help Desk, Olanrewaju Ajogbashile, said in understanding the modalities, the Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning, in collaboration with Nigeria Governors Forum, embarked on a 3-day study visit to Lagos. Imole Ayotokede Ogunfowora has details.
Lagos State government in 2020 generated a gross income of 418 billion naira in tax revenues despite the COVID-19 pandemic and its socio-economic impacts. With understanding of the impacts of revenue generation on infrastructure development, the federal government adopted strategies to strengthen its revenue earnings towards reducing both foreign and domestic borrowing. While Lagos State has maintained a good record in revenue generation, concerned bodies such as Fiscal Transparency and Accountability for Results mobilized revenue as well as tax audit officers from the 6 geopolitical zones to familiarize themselves with mode of operations.
Mobilization, and that includes the adoption of technology and also improved land administration that can support increased property tax revenues.
The knowledge sharing process provided an opportunity for members of the team to compare notes with their counterparts from the Ministry of Finance, Internal Revenue Service, and the Taxation Administrative Department. This visit will also be conducted across the states of the Federation. In Lagos, Imole Ayotokede Ogunfowora, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Nationwide. It's back to Ruth in Abuja for more reports.
Thank you very much, Howell. Sustainable economic plans, implementation of the Treasury single account, robust social intervention programs, and massive investments in critical infrastructure have been the hallmarks of economic growth under the Buhari administration for the past 6 years. Now, this was the position of guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, who also commended the government for prompt response to the twin shocks of slump in oil price and the COVID-19 pandemic. Thomas Ogbetere reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari came to power with a promise to fight corruption, ensure the security and welfare of citizens, and improve the economy of Nigeria. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning noted that blocking of financial leakages using the Treasury single account and 2 finance bills to correct fiscal laws are fundamental pillars that have enabled investment in infrastructure and development of SMEs.
TSA has been very well implemented. We've received a lot of commendations. We have one African country that has come to understudy what we've done, and they started implementing Gambia, and we're supporting them. We also have 2 others that are, including Ethiopia, that are looking at coming to do the same thing. So it's been well commended, and it's one of the most important tools of the within the finance space that we have used in the last century.
Other guests also noted that diversification policy, growth in non-oil sectors of agriculture and telecommunications is enough to score President Muhammadu Buhari's administration high economically.
When the first recession came on board in 2016, we had a robust debate in the Senate then, and of course we came up with about 22 areas of suggestions to the executive. And I recalled by 2017, when Mr. President came to present his budget, he acknowledged that those 22 recommendations did help the thinking in the executive.
Up until a few years ago, has been a subsistence agricultural system so antiquated and without flow of investment. Now you have an Anchor Borrowers program that changed all that, transformed our subsistence farmers to commercial farmers.
Guests also commended the restoration of the federal budget to January-December cycle and the expansion of the National Social Register to enable the poor and vulnerable to benefit from the conditional cash transfer and other grants to cushion the effect of COVID-19 pandemic. In Abuja, Thomas Ugbeteri, NTA News.
Experts say for Nigeria to see the needed development, the economy must have a growth rate of at least 11%, while the economic processes should drive political processes. These were part of the 32-point highlights of the second National Leadership Dialogue series of Nigerian Prize for Leadership. Hanman Jabani reports.
Nigerian Prize for Leadership, National Leadership Dialogue Series 002, first edition, which is expected to last for 7 months, with the general theme of reworking the economy, will look at planning to growth in an increasing national security, process of funding budget, enhancing the digital economy, and post-COVID-19.
Subsidies is an indication of failure. It means your economy is not growing at the pace that is meant to grow because the market is not determining the prices and is not driving the economy.
Do we take the people into consideration when we are formulating economic policies? Or do we just do this and then see the consequences on the people?
At the commencement of this series that is looking at policy formulation at all levels and how to involve the people, experts say Nigeria's economy have to grow at a rate of at least 11%. Government must invest in tech and youth investment must be promoted.
We must therefore start the thinking, start the improvement, the execution of policies from the community level. That is the bottom-up approach.
If we are to rework the economy from policies to the people, we have to have strategic leadership that will sit down and take a look at all those processes.
We must intentionally, deliberately ensure that the right policy choice are made.
Unemployment, interest and exchange rates, debt profile, budget and revenue were other issues excessively discussed at the series. The next series comes up on the 29th of June 2021. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Our next stop will be Maiduguri, and Abubakar is set to bring us the next set of reports.
Good afternoon to you, Ruth, and thank you for joining us. In continuation of its relocation exercise in some IDPs camps across Maiduguri metropolis, Borno State government has moved internally displaced persons taking refuge at NYSC camp to Aunu in Konduga local government to enable the state government accommodate core members posted to Borno for orientation. Yagum Subukar reports that it has been almost 10 years now that the NYSC orientation camp is accommodating IDPs from across the state.
The NYSC orientation camp situated along Dambuwa Road has been a home to about 734 households from Dambuwa, Bama and Kondiga local governments for almost 10 years now. This was as a result of insurgency attacks on their communities that rendered them homeless, hence the decision by Borno State government to give them shelter at this camp.
a ce za ba mu abinci da kayan noma. Abin da zan cewa gwamna mun gode mishi da wannan irin hidima da yake mana. Da muna so mu koma garinmu amma ya nema mana waje tun da garinmu bai yi kyau ba.
Having been relocated to Aunu, government says it has given the IDPs the mandate to stay for as long as they wish in the new accommodation allocated to them.
The housing estate was able to occupy all IDP residents here. Them token. We have about 27 official camps in the state, having over 1,200,000, almost 46 IDPs officially under our custody.
Now that the NYSC camp is officially shut down by Borno State government, it is expected that sooner or later, orientation for core members posted to Borno will resume in the state capital.
The
NYSC orientation camp hosting IDPs from 3 local government areas of Borno State is today looking a shadow of itself, having been relocated to Aunu, where they expected to start life afresh, pending the time they will be resettled in their places of abode. From NYSC camp here in Maiduguri, I'm Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
Very well, Yagumsu. And away from that now, providing job opportunities to the teeming unemployed youths has been described as a tool towards addressing the security challenges being faced in the state. This was the summation of stakeholders at a 5-day training on aquaculture entrepreneurship for sustainable food security and wealth creation organized by the Federal College of Freshwater Fisheries Technology, Baga. Murjana Hassan completes the story.
The 5-day training workshop on aquaculture entrepreneurship for sustainable food security, livelihoods, and wealth creation was organized by the Federal College of Freshwater Fisheries Technology in collaboration with Federal Government of Nigeria as part of annual social services of the college to promote labor and productivity. While declaring the workshop open, Provost of the college, Agbelage Olusegun, said the training workshop, which aimed at empowering unemployed youths and women, is targeting about 300 participants selected from all 27 local government areas of Borno State.
The main aim of this training is to reduce unemployment, make people to become masters of their own, so that they will be employers of labor.
Also speaking, Deputy Provost of the college, Dr. Olariwaju Adewale Nuruddin, lauded the federal government for supporting the program, which will train the youth on fish farming, value chain entrepreneurship. According to him, the topic was well chosen to meet the challenges of unemployment and insecurity ravaging Borno State and environs. Other stakeholders said entrepreneurship is the single most critical ingredient for economic empowerment and job creation, while calling on the participants to use this opportunity, which will give them a lifetime support as well as reduce poverty, idleness, and food insecurity bedeviling the nation. Some of the trainees commended organizers of the workshop and federal government as well for having the interest of developing the youth and promised to concentrate and learn the skills which will help them become self-reliant. In Maiduguri, Murjana Hassan, NTA News.
You're on to Nationwide on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA. Let's take another break now to join our Port Harcourt Network Center for more stories thereafter. To stay.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
It's the dawn of a new era on NTA's flagship program, The Sports Parliament, revitalized with lots of varieties, including feedback responses from viewers. Sports Parliament, the weekly sports show that exposes all the intrigues in the Nigerian sports sector and projects an agenda on the way forward for Nigerian sports. On NTA every Thursday at 10:30 p.m., running for 1 whole hour, discussing sports. The parliamentarians are more committed than ever to enlighten the viewers as the Sports Parliament takes it to a whole new level on the floor of the House. Keep a date with the Sports Parliament as motions are moved every Thursday on the floor of the House. Mr. Speaker, with his gavel to harmonize sports resolutions. The House have it.
You can get more news and updates on www.nta.ng or follow us on our Twitter handle at NTA News Now. You can also like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/NTA Network News, and also stay connected and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Also remember to watch our news live streaming at www.nta.ng/live.
To Port Harcourt. About 6 persons sustained various degrees of injuries in an explosion at Mile 3 Motor Park in Port Harcourt in the early hours of Monday. Kingsley Amaji reports that the State Police Command, in a statement, confirmed the incident and is investigating the matter.
Eyewitness account at the Mile 3 Motor Park told our crew that a lady who sells fish was displaying her wares from her bag when the explosion occurred. Though no life was lost, but we reliably gathered that some persons were injured and they have been rushed to the hospital. NTA News interacted with some of the eyewitnesses who were at the scene of this incident.
So we found out that there was a jumbo bag of fish that they sent to the girl. So when the girl maybe wanted to open the bag, he experienced the explosion.
We were selling, even my cousin sister was there buying fish. What I heard was the sound, a loudest sound, and people started running.
One of the victims, who is currently receiving treatment at my one clinic in Port Harcourt, corroborated the story, saying they were 6 in numbers that sustained various degrees of injuries.
Due to the circumstances of the rain, of the weather, we now brought tire as usual and keep my fish because of the rain, so that water no go enter. So all of a sudden, from nowhere, something like a bomb, or how will I put it, now explode. So out of the tire. So that was the result of this.
State Police Public Relations Officer Nandi Omoni confirmed the incident, saying it was an explosion from a locally fabricated dynamite. He, however, disclosed that the Police Commissioner has directed full investigation into the matter. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
The former Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Tele Ikuru, has commended the sterling leadership qualities of Governor Wike in the area of infrastructural development of the state. Tele Ikuru was speaking during the flag-off of the construction of Alu Omagwa Road in Ikwere local government area. We're getting a complete report.
In the last few days, Governor Wike has been crisscrossing the length and breadth of the state, inaugurating and flagging off projects. It is the turn of Ikwere local government area as the governor's developmental train stops by at their community with a flag-off of the construction of Alu Omagwa Road. Governor Wike says he has made good to virtually all his campaign promises to Ikwere local government area. He maintained that his administration is not relenting in ensuring that every part of the state is developed.
When I came to campaign in Alu, I did say that all their roads, I was going to make sure that they are all tied. The last one now is this Alu to Omagwa. I've done the Sobo internal roads. I've given Amawa school. I've given Ubima school. I've awarded the Omarelu internal roads, which in the next 1 week or two we're going there to flag it off.
The former Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Tele Ikuru, commended the proactiveness of the governor.
Between the time you have come to government till today, Your Excellency, it is one project or the other. It's either you are commissioning or you are flagging off. You have not rested.
The Alu Omagwa Road, upon completion, will be 9.8 kilometers long with a width of 9.3 meters and will serve as an alternative route to the Port Harcourt International Airport. In Alu, the Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. Is back to Ru for the rest of the news. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Dibabari. 136 pupils, including teachers of Salihu Tanko Islamia in Tegina, Rafi local government area of Niger State, were abducted on Sunday afternoon by armed bandits. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo, who visited the school, brings us an update.
We're right now at the Islamia, Salihu Tanko Islamia school, Tegina, where the abduction took place. And with me here is one of the eyewitnesses.
We are in office, then the armed bandit come. What's up, before they came in, one of them come searching the gate. The gate didn't open, and he went back. Then someone tell him that he should come back, there is students inside. When they come back, some of them climb the gate and get into the school. Then at the time that we saw them, we closed the door when we are in office. Then they start shouting the guns. They pick up the students.
I'm a father of 3 of the children that were abducted in this school. Actually, what I saw was very horrifying, because right in front of my eyes, my children were just channeled out. Very, very sad experience.
How many children?
3 of them.
How did they abduct?
All of them were female. The last one is just about 5 years old.
So with me here is the sole proprietor of the Islamia school.
But from the instance of yesterday to today, we have a confirmed figure as provided by the parents. We have 136 as reported by the parents at the children that are abducted by the bandits.
Those that were released?
No, they were not actually released. Is that the children cannot walk, cannot catch up with them. So they left them at the bush behind the school, about some few miles from the school.
How many of them?
About 11 of them.
The situation also affected business activities at the busy Tegina junction, as most of the shops remained closed. From Tegina, in Rafi local government area of Niger State, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
Thank you, Abubakar. Very sad incident there. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board says only those with genuine proof will be granted an extension, as there will be no general extension of registration closing date for the 2021 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination and the direct entry. While noting that some excuses are authentic, the board said a large number of others were caused by fraudsters working against the system, and assures that another opportunity will be given to those who have genuinely tried to register but had challenge. It will be recalled that factors such as late or non-delivery of national identity number verification code, inability to obtain name, mismatch or wrong names originally submitted to National Identity Management Commission made JAMB shift the closing date of registration from 15th to 29th of May. The board, however, advised all prospective candidates with genuine proofs of failed efforts to register before the closing date or visit any of JAMB's offices for reconciliation between Monday 31st May and June 15. All right, we're heading to Sokoto now to join Sadia. She's going to pick up from here. Sadia?
Hello, Ruth. Wife of Sokoto State Governor Maria Aminu Waziri Tambuwal has challenged Nigerian youths to use social media platforms to empower themselves and unite their country. She was speaking at a youth interactive session organized by her pet project, Maria Tambuwal Development Initiative. Elata Abdullahi reports.
In recent times, especially in Nigeria, social media platforms have been turned into avenues of promoting fake news, ethnic and religious bigotry, as well as a means of blackmailing people. Wife of Sokoto State Governor Maria Aminu Waziri, represented by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Non-Governmental Organizations, Ubaida Muhammad Bello, said her aim is to sensitize the youth on the negative impact of social media to nation building.
MTD, I see the needs to bring youth together, empower them, provide them with adequate information and necessary skills, particularly, most especially on the social media platform.
We have a lot of programs like Sokoto Youth Economic Empowerment Project, which is underway, and this will engage the youth.
Speakers and the public commentators reminded the youth of the need to use social media for self-development and entrepreneurship instead of causing unnecessary tension in the country.
And I also talked to them about the etiquette of using the social media, that they should respect people's opinion, they should accept people's opinion, and they shouldn't attack people because of difference in opinion or difference in ideology.
The essence is to guide the youth. They should do what is good to the society.
The interactive session was an opportunity for experts and stakeholders to emphasize on the need for people of Sokoto to hold on to small-scale businesses and the youth to aspire to be self-reliant instead of being political thugs. In Sokoto, Dalat Abdullahi, NTA News.
Now, rice farmers in Zamfara State have stressed the need for government to ensure timely release of farming inputs and other related grants to them as this year's rainy season sets in. The farmers under the auspices of Mega Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria made the appeal at a stakeholders meeting in Gusau. Jamil Ibrahim has more.
The federal government intervention to rice farmers in Zamfara State through the CBN Anko Barrows program has in recent years revolutionized the production of the commodity, which records a dramatic increase from 600 to 1.5 million metric tons annually. Despite the prevailing security challenges bedeviling the state, the rice farmers are optimistic that the feat could be sustained. At a stakeholders meeting in Gusau, National Vice President Mega Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria in charge of the Northwest, Aliu Abdudogwa, applauded the federal government continued ban on the importation of rice, expressing optimism that if the policy is sustained, Nigeria will in the near future become one of the largest exporters of the commodity in the world. He charged rice farmers in Zamfara State to be more organized and committed to improving their productivity, as the association is poised to strengthen the value chain in rice production across the country. The Emir of Gusau, Alhaji Ibrahim Bello, represented at the meeting by Secretary of the Emirate Sambo Sambo, advocates for active involvement of traditional rulers in the identification and registration of genuine farmers to benefit from the government various interventions in agriculture with a view to achieving the desired results. The mega rice farmers led by Zamfara State Chairman of the Association, Nur Aliu Endoto, appealed to the relevant authorities to ensure immediate release of the farming inputs and other related grants to them as this year rainy season sets in. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Sadia. Up next for us is Sports Update.
Many thanks for joining us on Sports Update. I am Bade Adeleye. Ahead of the first Northern Nigeria Sports Conference, scheduled for 8th to 10th July 2021, a 30-member organizing committee for the successful hosting of the event has been inaugurated in Abuja. Chairman of the conference, Aruna Garuba, charged the members to be steadfast by doing their best to make it a reality.
In the northern parts of Nigeria, need to wake up from their slumber and encourage the youth to see sports as a unifying factor, avenue for creating wealth and preventing them from involving themselves in criminal activities.
On to the court now. Hot cold male and female basketball teams have emerged men and women's champions of the Maiden Bikers Rave basketball tournament, which held at Old Parade Ground, Gariki, Abuja. Hot cold male defeated City Chiefs in the men's final, while their female counterparts edged out City Sparks in the women's final of the one-week championship aimed at fighting drug abuse in the country.
They have taken themselves away from abuse of illicit substances, which is what exactly the NDLA is campaigning against.
And to tennis, Naomi Osaka has been told she could be expelled from the French Open if she continues a media boycott. Osaka having announced last Wednesday that she would not be participating in mandatory media interviews due to mental health concerns, refused to show up for a post-match conference following a first-round victory over Romanian Patricia Maria Tig on Sunday. The four-time Grand Slam singles champion has already been fined $15,000 for her action. And that does it on Sports Update. I am Badi Adeleye.
Thank you, Badi. And we're done with Nationwide. Thank you very much for your time with us. But remember, together we can win the fight against rape and rapists. I'm Ruth Aguele. Enjoy your evening. Bye.